Good evening. For our worship tonight, our first song is Soon and Very Soon, page 192 in your hymn book. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we are going to see the King. No more dying there, we are going to see the King. No more dying there, we are going to see the King. No more dying there, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King. No more crying there, we are going to see the King. No more crying there, we are going to see the King. No more crying there, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King. For our next song, we'll be on 146, Oh How He Loves You and Me. 146.
Of these commandments, you'll find one here that really applies to us in any era of time. Now, I'm going to explain to you what the Sabbath is in a little bit, how it was different then, and what is now the Lord's Day, which is Sunday, and how Jesus changed all that. But I'll talk to you about holiday or holy day. Now, I know the people in this room don't have a problem with this, what I'm going to talk to you tonight, a lot of it. But it'll do us all good to look at these things. We're just taking them as they are. We're going right down the list. And we're looking at holiday or holy day. That's a question. As we look at Exodus 28 through 11, we talk about the Ten Commandments. We talk about how we're to worship God and only God. How we're not to make a graven image, which we don't do that, but we kind of do in a way that we come up with things materialistically. We have visions in our mind of how things ought to be, and we put God in a different place than he ought to be. We're to worship God without any, because he's a jealous God. Not the kind of jealousy we have, but a jealous God, a holy jealousy, in that means that he doesn't want us doing anything that will hurt us in our relationship with him. The third one, we talked about not using God's name in vain. And that's not just a curse word. It's how we go about our life. It's how we swear. It's how we say words, other words that we shouldn't say about, that's close to those words. Like, gee whiz doesn't sound good, and golly doesn't sound good, and oh my God, all these kind of words do not sound good. It's blasphemous. Our lifestyle can also be taking God's name in vain. Today we're going to look at honoring the Sabbath, or the Sabbath day as it was in that day. Now somebody's going to go right off in the world right now, if they were in here, somebody who wasn't in church a lot would say, well, the Sabbath was the Old Testament. Yes, it was. But now the Jews still celebrated on Saturday. The 7-day Advent celebrated on Saturday. When we went to Israel, everything shut down. Friday sunset through Sunday morning. Nothing. It was their Sabbath. There was only one elevator you could use in the motel. There wasn't, all the rest of them were closed because of the Sabbath. They take it very seriously over there. That's Saturday, which is true, is how it was in that day. When Jesus died and rose again on the first day of the week, it became Sunday. It became the Lord's Day. Saturday was the Old Testament, the seventh day. And then when Jesus rose, it became the Lord's Day. And we've taken it now to worship him, Christianity, on Sunday. But the law, they say, well, the law, we're not under the law, we're under grace now. We're under grace, we ought to even be doing better than we are under the law, was under the law. Now, when I was a kid and a young adult, this is how Sundays were. You got up as a family, you put your Sunday go to church clothes on. You dressed up, you came to church, you sat together. You loved the people. You loved visiting with the people. I loved Sunday school. We loved to sing and get involved. It's what we did. We looked forward to it every Sunday, getting up, getting ready, and going to church. Remember the Sunday blue laws? Nothing was open on Sunday. If you didn't buy gas on Friday, you did without till Monday. If you didn't buy it on Saturday, you did it without. Everything was closed down. You didn't go to restaurants on Sunday. They reversed that. And now everything is open on Sunday, and Sunday has just become another day. People plan their family reunions on Sunday. People plan their outings on Sunday. Sports, they play on Sunday just like it's any other day of the week. But the Lord says, you remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. The seventh day, then. In it you shall do no work. You nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and the rest of the seventh, and they rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it special. Now, Sundays in my day was the day you went to church. You didn't do nothing else on Sunday. And my mother and daddy had a rule that if you went out on Saturday night, we used to go to them car races, get home at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get up and go to church if you can go out on Sunday night, on Saturday night. You're going to get up and go. You better be sick, in bed, with a fever if you stay home. How the world has changed. Now you have parents that say, well, if they want to go, we'll let them go. Or if we don't got nothing else to do, I don't know how many times I've heard somebody tell me, That's the only day I have off. That's the only day we can go and do things. Well, I say, what better way to start it off than going to church with your family and then doing something? You see, it's changed a lot as it is today. And you went back to the evening church. Sunday evenings are hurting in most churches. We're about the only one that has one between Mendon and Ringo anymore on Sunday night. You went to church. We went to my grandmother's house. We stayed there. I mean, she'd cook a big lunch. I'm talking about fresh vegetables. I'm talking about cornbread. I'm talking about stuff made from scratch. And she put it out on the stove, and you'd go by there and get what you wanted. And it sat out all day. We didn't worry about bacteria. It sat out all day, and you just came and got it when you wanted it. And we went back to church that night. All of those days are gone. Let me just say this to you. After choir practice, I'm going to challenge you to do something. After choir practice on Sunday, you watch how many people are like Mary or Andretti getting out of this parking lot to go home who were in choir. You watch. They're in choir, but they can't stay for Sunday night church. And you see, this is how it's become now. Chuck Swindoll said we worship, work. We work at play, and we play at worship. He said we spend more time on recreation than when we do on education, construction of new homes, and national defense. That's where we are today. So is it Saturday or Sunday? It was Saturday. We don't celebrate in Christianity on Saturday. The Seventh-day Adventists do. I know some. They go to church on Saturday. The Jews still do it on Saturday, the true Jews. But it's Sunday, the Lord's Day, after Jesus rose on the first day of the week. That's how we do it today. And I've heard all this, some say, well, I want to sleep late on Sunday. Don't we all? I want to, we take a picnic and go to the lake that day. That's lake day. That's ball tournament day. When one gets saved, all that changes. It should. You want to be around God's people. If you don't like God's people, you have a problem with God, because that's God's people. So the first thing I want you to see here is Sunday, the Lord's Day, is a day to remember. It says it right here. It says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Remember it. Keep it in your mind. It's a day of ceasing. We are not designed to go and go and go and go and go and never rest. That's why God gave us that. That's why God took a day off. Not that he was tired in Genesis 2, that he needed to rest. No, to set an example that we too need to get away from our work one day a week. Now, work is not a curse, but we're not programmed to never slow down. Look how tired most people are. God says, I'll give you a day to rest, because God is a God of order. He created in order. He did things in order. And he said for us to be in the same way that we do things. There's a season and a cycle. There's seasons and cycles. Remember means to recall, bring to mind. Labor means to serve, to work at something. In Exodus 16:23, he told them to gather twice as much manna because the Sabbath was coming. To get twice as much, to get through that. The creation, God rested not because he was tired, no, but because he shows us that there's a season and a cycle. There's a season to work, there's a time to rest. Our bodies are not designed to go 6 days of work. God says you need to rest, you need to refocus, you need to be refreshed, you need to come and worship with people and get your mind on him, because we need to do that. It's a reflection. The Sabbath means rest. It means to cease for those things. He said, step back and remember your blessings over the last 6 days. How I got you through the week. How I provided for you. There's a time when you take all those 6 days and you come and be thankful for them. It's a day to remember. Remember. that God's to keep it holy. You know what? God's holy. Now, I know everybody can't come every week, and I know there's people that can't come because of their jobs and sicknesses. I know that. But we've forgotten what it means to worship God on the Sabbath day, the first day of the week, Sunday. We forgot. It's just another day. People will work on Sunday like nothing, just playing something on Sunday like nothing. I'm glad my girls didn't play ball, because they would not have played on a Sunday. I can promise you that. Even if they were number one starters. Because that is an important day to work, to rest. And the second thing is just that. It's a day to remember. It's a day to rest. Here's some of the laws they had back then on the Sabbath. I want you to listen to these. These were actual laws. They had 1,521 things that were not permissible on the Sabbath day. Here's one of them. You could not rescue a drowning person on the Sabbath. Don't get in the water on the Sabbath if you can't swim. Here's another one. Untying knots that needed only one hand was permissible, but not two hands. Here's another one. You could pull your ox out of the ditch, but the man with the ox stays in there. This is true. You can pull the ox out because he's needed, but the man who's in the ditch with him, he got to wait till after the Sabbath to get pulled out. Here's another thing. I'm going to say what Billy Graham said. We use that excuse, my ox was in the ditch. He said, if we keep using that, we either need to get a new ox or fill the ditch up. Makes sense. If you could use a sup of vinegar for food, but not for toothache. Here's another one. You could not kill a flea. You had to let it bite you, because if you killed a flea on the Sabbath, it was considered hunting. These are true things. Here's and like I said, my parents said, if you can go out on Saturday night, you can get them to go to church on Sunday morning. You can. Because God says we need a lull in work. We're expected to work. The Bible says we should work. You don't work, you don't eat. But we're expected to rest. Why? It cycles out. Our bodies are not clocks. They can just keep going. They need to be rewound. And we need to rewind them from time to time. If not, they'll run down to the grave. Our bodies will. Sunday should be a time of rest and refocus and refreshing. Voltaire, one of the atheists of another day, said, to destroy Christianity, I must destroy the Sabbath. And this is how the Sundays came to be. You know the ice cream Sundays? Well, there was a time when you couldn't sell ice cream on Sunday. But they found a way and made a plan to sell ice cream. You could use syrup, but not soda water. So they started making them that way, and they called it a Sunday. Well, people got mad because it was being compared to the Lord's Day, Sunday, so they changed the name and dropped the Y and put the E and made it a Sunday. That's how they did that. And because they were so popular and they sold so much, and they found a way to do that. You see, so it's a day of remembrance. It's a day of rest. I could write a book on excuses I've had over my years in the ministry. From working, or kids don't want to go, I'm not going to make them. It's my only day I have off. We had company come by. I've never figured that out. Why can't you bring them with you? Well, they don't have clothes. Well, it doesn't matter. Come in your pajamas. I don't care. And you see, it's a day of renewal as well. The third one, a day of renewal. What do we renew there? Well, look, in this verse it says, 6 days you shall labor and do your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, not even your cattle. But it's also a day of renewal. We renew our conscience, our thinking. We need to regroup. We fight the devil all week long. We fight flesh all week long. And we need a battle plan. We need to come together as God's people because there's strength in numbers. A passerby saw a bunch of mules out in the pasture. And they asked, why is there so many mules out there? And the man said, because the miners use them in the mine. And once a week we have to bring them up to the surface and let them see the light, or else they'll go blind. That's what we need to do, is see the light. At least once a week. That we don't go spiritually blind. You see, they were used in that. It's a time to reflect, to think about God's goodness, and to give him praise for the life, the way he's given us the ability to work and to rest in him. So there's a new virus going around. It's called morbus sabbaticus. And the symptoms vary. There's no loss of appetite. The illness lasts 24 hours. You never call a physician. You don't really need to. It starts on Sunday morning. It's never Saturday a night. I mean, they're fine on Saturday night. And Sunday morning, they'll get up and eat a good breakfast. And along about 10 o'clock, they get this disease called sabbaticus morbus. And at 11 o'clock, they have an attack, and the symptoms begin, and they don't feel like going to church service. So they stay home. By 12:30, they're much better. And they go through the afternoon. They enjoy lunch. They go for a drive. They go for a walk. They've talked to friends. They're fine. But about 5, it hits again. They can't go to Sunday night church. But Monday morning, they're off to work. Sabbaticus morbus. I call it Sundayitis. It's the same thing. Now, you see, this commandment, you say, well, I miss occasionally, and that's, that happens. But what if we missed, if you just said, I missed this one occasionally, what if we missed the other one? Do we murder occasionally? Do we steal occasionally? Do we commit adultery occasionally? No, hopefully not. Then we shouldn't just miss this one occasionally, unless there's reasons that we can't help. You see, if your car started occasionally, you wouldn't like it. If your hot water heater put out hot water occasionally, if the lights worked occasionally, there's something about getting together with God's people that makes a big difference in your life. And worshiping and talking to people. I don't know how people go through things in their life without a church family or without God. I don't know how they go through these things without friends, people praying for them, without getting incredibly bitter in their life. You see, I'll say it again. If one don't like God's children, they probably have a problem with God. Because if you love God, you need to love his children. The Bible makes it very clear. So it's a day to remember, it says. It's a day of rest. Do all your work, but on the seventh day is a day you set aside for rest. God made it in 6 days, verse 11, and he rested on the seventh. He blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Hebrews 10:25 says, forsake not the assembling of ourselves, such as is the day. So that's the message tonight. I don't know what's happening to my voice. I actually was talking good when I got here. So, but I don't have COVID, so don't start thinking that. But I'm losing my voice. I do that about once or twice a year. So I want to tell you a few announcements. I got both revivals planned. April 24th through the 27th is Wayne Dubose, former pastor at First Baptist Minden, is going to be the pastor, and Mike Whitlock is going to lead the music. April 24th through 27th. October 23rd through 26th, I've got Luke coming again, and we are called on that one. We're going to have 2 this year. Didn't have one at all last year. I feel it's something we need to do. I think we need to concentrate on evangelism more than ever and trying to reach people, because there's never been a time that it's needed more than right now. And also, the Bible study starts Sunday at 6. We'll eat, and then 6:30 we'll start the Bible study. Go till 8. It'll go Sunday through Wednesday. The books are ordered. I put a rush on them. I expect they should be in by tomorrow or Friday. So they're $9 each. I paid for them, so you can just, if you feel led to give it, to help pay it back, that's fine. If not, you don't have to. But they're $9 each. They actually 8 something, but I rounded it off to 9 because I don't need a bunch of change in my pocket. So that's if you want a book, when I get here, I'll let you know, and we can get one Sunday, hopefully. Anything else tonight? All right, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Brother John, would you lead us, please?